Mm.
Hello, Desiree. How are you doing today?
Hi, Margaret. I'm really good. And how are you?
Very well. Very well. Thank you. Today
Good.
I have Desiree Brown Quilty with me today, and she is the editor owner of Second Bloom
Yeah.
publication.
Yeah.
Okay, you
Yeah.
you are an educator, and you were born in Jamaica.
God, 100%. Yeah. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah. So I run the Second Bloom newsletter on Substack. And the Second Bloom newsletter is for women over 50 who want to figure out what their next chapter is, who want to get clear on how to live the rest of their lives and confidence doing it. Because, women over 50, we've spent a lot of time prioritizing other people, family, the jobs. Now it's time to think about ourselves. So I help women in that position who feel that, that inner calling, the little thing that niggles at you that says there's something else, there's something more. So I help women to figure out what that something else is, get clear on that, and the confidence to go after it. And you did say that I was born in Jamaica. That is correct. Many, many years ago, and I left in 1988. So now, I identify as Jamaican and Irish, and I've lived in about 11 different countries. I consider myself a global citizen, which is why I always have a very difficult time answering that question, where are you from? So I usually say, I was born in Jamaica. But there's the story, there's this author called Chimamanda Adichie. She is from
Okay.
Nigeria. I don't know if you've heard of her. She's written lots of books, and she talks about the idea of a single story. So when you say you're born in place X, people think all the things that are associated with place X. And they put you in a box and it's a single story, but that's not it, right? Which is why I always have to, expand on that. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. So
that's
that's
some.
yeah.
So that's wonderful. So when you're talking about the woman and the elevation, evolution
Mhm.
of her life, of her career, can you give us a glimpse inside of your transformation?
How much time do you have, Margaret? How much time do you have? Right. Okay. Where do I begin? Let's start from the beginning. So I was born in Jamaica 100 years ago, many years ago, and I left in 1988. So I've lived more than half of my life outside of Jamaica. Yeah, because I'm 59 now. And when I left, I was 22. So I studied in Belgium. I did my master's in Belgium. I got married. And we traveled around a lot. My husband at the time was an expat, and I was a trading spouse. I lived in different countries. We lived in Russia, we lived in Belgium, we lived in Germany, we lived all over the place. It was fabulous. It was great. But at some point I decided that I wanted more. I didn't want to trail anyone because I'm also an only child. And one of the fantastic things about that, my mother, Mrs. Brown, who's passed, bless her. She was born in Jamaica right after independence. Jamaica is 63 years old, and Independence Day was August 6th, which is a couple of days ago. And one of the things I drilled into my head was that as a woman, you have to be independent. You have to be independent. You've got to be educated. You have to be in a position where no one tells you what to do. You have to be able to march the beat of your own drum. So that's me. So that's not the type of person that has a wife profile. So I was just not a very good wife. Fabulous husband, but just not a good wife because I wanted to do my own thing and go places on my, not on my own, but go wherever I wanted to go. So after a bit, I decided this was not for me. So I packed my bags. I remember booking a 6 month ticket to Vietnam. At the time we are living in Germany. It was right after 9/11. So I think 9/11 was that thing that said, oh my God, I don't know what's going to happen in this world. I need to do what I need to do. So I remember booking a 6 month ticket on Lufthansa. I will never forget. We were living in Germany at the time. And I decided that, I wanted to go and, start teaching because I always felt that call to teaching. And up until that time, I hadn't been teaching. I'd been doing lots of different things because every time we moved country, I had to adapt to whatever the market was. So I started off studying in hydrology, which is like math and engineering. And, when we moved to Russia, obviously I'm not going to work as a hydrologist. So I started teaching in Russia, teaching English as a second language. And it caught on to me, my God, teaching, because when I was growing up, I kind of always wanted to be a teacher. But, people said, well, I knew as well, oh my God, Desiree, you're going to be poor for the rest of your life if you taught. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to teach. So I did math and engineering. And here we go, how many years
Yeah.
later in Russia, I ended up teaching English as a second language. And that's obviously,
Wow.
if I always wanted to teach as a child, clearly it was something for me, right? And I really loved it.
Right.
So I did that in Vietnam. It's actually really good. I remember, yeah, so I moved to Vietnam, started teaching, ended up loving it. And I remember that 6 month ticket
Oh,
turned into 3 years. I spent 3 years in
wow.
Vietnam, absolutely flipping loved it. And I loved my
Wow.
teaching as well. And then I decided, okay, teaching is what I want to do. It allows me to travel. So I started teaching internationally in international schools. And of course, well, not of course, but I switched to teaching mathematics. So that was more me. Yeah. So I did that for many years, moved to different countries, taught in different countries, for 3 years, 4 years, yeah. And after a while, because things change, you change. My last teaching position was in Angola. Loved Angola. I think I can be the tourist ambassador for Angola, which is in Southern Africa. So while I was in Angola, I took a sabbatical a couple of years before. I knew that, okay, I've been teaching for over 20, 30 years. I feel like there's more that I need to do. So I finished teaching Angola a couple of months, well, last month actually, and now I am now coaching women over 50 because I think a lot of us think that, there's only one story, there's only one thing that we have to do. And we don't realize there's so much more. And we know deep down that there's more, but we just need the courage and the confidence and and somebody to kind of help you along the way to achieve what you want to achieve. And, remember that sometimes, the goal is not just for the goal, it's the person that you become along the way, going towards your goal. That's the important thing to remember. Life is short. We don't know how much time we have. So it's really important to give the world the gift that we have. And that gift, comes from listening to your inner, to that gut feeling that's telling you there's more. Sometimes we're working in jobs that are no longer aligned and you feel uncomfortable, you feel stagnant. And after, so many years of teaching, that's what happened to me. After a while, I had nothing more to give. I was, teaching teenagers and I just felt tired, drained, exhausted. And I was just not happy. And I just don't think that was fair to the kids and to my colleagues. So I just, made a vague plan and I just took the leap. And although it's been a couple of months, I'm absolutely enjoying getting up in the mornings, being the master of my own day, deciding what I do and at the same time helping other women. I absolutely love talking to women. I think we're just fabulous beings and we're so much wiser than the other ones. Yeah. And so I've been slow traveling. I started off after I finished in Angola. I think you know this. I started off in South Africa, then I went to Thailand for nervous system reset to just unwind and just relax a bit. And I went to Amsterdam to visit my aunt. My aunt is about 90 and she's my last aunt. So I spent some time with her. And now I'm in Jamaica for a couple of weeks and then I'm off again. Not sure where, I'm not sure when, but yeah. And while I'm traveling, I'm doing what I'm doing, working on myself and helping other women, to be who they want to be, right? Become more aligned with who they want to be and who they are, really. Because, over the years, you forget it. You forget, society tells us so many things. You have to get the job, then you have to stay at the job. Then you have to retire and you have to sit and go on a cruise when you're retired. That's just bullshit. It's not necessarily, not everybody has that path. That's just not for everybody. And you really don't need a lot to be happy. That's another thing. You don't need the house and the car and all that. That's fine, the fabulous clothes, but that's not what makes us happy. What makes us happy is just living a life that's aligned with our own purpose. I'm telling you. I mean, I'm living out of a suitcase, 23 kilograms. I don't know how many pounds. That's probably about 46 pounds or so. And there's no problem. I've got everything I need in those 23 kilograms. Before that, I never thought that was possible because you've got a great apartment, the television, the car, and all that. And things have worked out so well. I just, one of the hard things to do is, to trust in the universe. When you decide what you want to be or what you want to do, we freak out because we're going on a path that's not, it's not planned out. You don't know what's going to happen. And you just have to trust in the universe. It's hard, but every day you just have to remind yourself that the universe has your back. And when you've made a decision to go in a certain path, the universe will support you. Honestly, you don't know how it's going to happen, but just have to trust that the universe will support you. Yeah. And that was me. That's me in a nutshell. And by the way, Margaret, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate this.
I do too, because your story is so aligned with mine as well.
Okay.
It's just so ironic. It's just I
Uh-huh.
followed the progression of my career with the Army, wherever
Mhm,
it took me. It
mhm,
also provided the people, the places, everything fell right into place.
mhm,
And I um I excelled. Okay.
mhm,
And then once my values were no longer in alignment with the organization,
mhm.
then it was time to go because all the signs were there. I was not
Yeah.
happy. My nervous system was completely disrupted.
Mhm.
Um, I was so reactive when I get emails from, supervisor or a phone call, it just would set me off. I was just so
Yeah.
toxicity was just oozing out, and it's like I had to go.
Yeah.
So I understand. I understand. And when you trust the process and the universe, everything falls into place. It does. Just like when things were working very well, and things are
Yeah.
working very well now. And so we shed
Mhm.
ourselves from this person that we
Mhm.
were to become the person we were meant to be.
Well
Okay.
said. Mic drop. I wish. Well said. But yeah, the hardest thing is, I think for most of us, is to trust the universe. That is it. We're really scared of giving up that monthly paycheck, of giving up all the trappings of society, and carrying what other people say if we don't succeed in the way they expect us to succeed. That is it. It's just carrying yeah, that is really it. Yeah. And yeah, and one of the things I have to say, now that I'm back in Jamaica and I'm seeing, a lot of my friends and I see what's happening, that how everybody is so like caught up in what everybody else is doing, what everybody else is saying. I'm glad that I was away so I could do what's another thing about being away is, when you're out of your home country, you can do whatever you want to do. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about you. So you're free to be the person who you want to be without, your mother, sister, brother, your friends, saying all these things. So, another tip that for people is just pack and go somewhere and start and do what you need to do and work on you, if that's possible. Yeah.
I'm glad that you mentioned that because what I find is having spent 16 years
Mhm.
overseas, most of those years, 11 years was spent in Israel, 4 years
Mm,
were spent in Iraq. And when
yeah,
you go home, you're a different person. And the
absolutely.
people, okay, and the people where you were, they're basically the same because they stayed in their environment. Okay.
Mhm.
And you are no longer you come back disconnected.
So
Okay.
true. Mhm.
And they wonder, who are you?
Yeah.
you know and
Mhm.
you like, okay, I have really grown, and it's no offense against anyone, it's just life, it's truth.
Yeah.
Once you
Mhm.
see things and see how other people live, your whole life has changed.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. We've all grown, but grown, at different rates, your perspective is so different. Your perspective is completely changed. Yeah.
And people don't understand that. So
Mhm.
That's why I will encourage women to get out and to travel the world, to see,
Sure.
to
Mhm.
experience life, because, the way we see things, when you look back, it's like
Mhm.
the Matrix. When you learn different things,
Yeah.
you know, you,
Uh-huh.
your whole perspective change on life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. For sure, for sure, for sure. Yeah. Hmm.
So the work that you do is very vital, and I work with high productive um, leaders to help them with transition and change. So we are always in transition, okay? And we all need that support system, which you and I provide. And
Yeah.
that's amazing. And who knows what that's going to be 3 years, 5 years down the road. We just
Absolutely.
follow, we just follow the path, right? And
Yeah.
trust the process.
Trust the process, trust the universe. Yeah. Hmm.
Yes. Do
Yeah.
you have anything else you would like to share?
I think I pretty much shared my entire life story. Is there anything else that you wanted to ask me?
No, no, I don't, but I want to thank you so much for your time. And
Mhm.
I'm really grateful for this conversation today. And I've really learned a lot more about you and about life. And that's always the advantage of having, these conversations.
Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, my Substack is really to support that work, support my coaching. I share stories about women who have actually gone out, done the thing, followed the path, trusted the universe. Yeah. So I think for the next chapter, it's really is encouraging women like myself to do the thing, pretty much. Do the thing. Yeah.
There it is. There it is. Thank you so much. And you enjoy the rest of your day or night.
And thank you for having me, Mario. It was fun. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.